Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
The problem, we have a software solution, and we always tend to or bound to have a particular set of problems repeatedly. So whenever we have such problems which are already there and that might be solved already in the industry, those solved solutions are design patterns. So there are existing problems and there are existing solutions. Knowing those existing solutions is design pattern study. Okay, so what we gonna understand is first what is the problem, okay, because we need to analyze the problem first, and then which is applicable design pattern for that problem. And people, this is few of the design patterns you will actually use it. Few of the design patterns are totally made for interview, because in interview, one tricky interviewer, if he has a very good knowledge over JDBC patterns and Java patterns, what they're going to do is they will actually give you a scenario and then they will ask you that what is the best fit of design pattern, or number two, they will give you a problem and they want you to solve that problem with the help of a proper design pattern. Okay, so that's why we should understand the problem first, and then only we should understand appropriate design pattern solution for that. Okay, so let's take our first problem. The first problem is a singleton pattern, and the problem which we are solving here is, let's consider I have an application. Okay, so what I have is, so people always understand that our entire Java is in container. Okay, any kind of container which we want, like Tomcat, anything which has Java, right? So at Java, basically what is Java in it means JVM. Okay, so if we want a class which has a single instance inside the JVM, so no matter how many times you call this particular class, let me call this class as S. So this S class, no matter how many people call it, no matter how many people ask for it, it will only create a single instance of this class. Okay, so only one object exists on this JVM. Okay, so that is the description of object. What is the practical scenario really mean? Okay, so consider we have a, let's say, product list. Okay, a store has a product list, like how many products they have, and they want to maintain that list somewhere. Okay, they want to maintain that list somewhere in an object. So what they can do is they can create such objects where this list is maintained. Now, no matter how many stores ask this product list, they will always get a product list which is referred by a single object. If you create multiple instances of it, then if later this store updates product list, this store will not know, right? So if the store A updates product list, store B does not know about it. So that's why we should make sure that this particular product list is at the single location. Okay, so if we want such a behavior, first thing is, what is that behavior called? So that behavior is called as singleton. So, and the way we design this particular solution is called as singleton pattern. Okay, so singleton pattern is explained as if you have a single instance in entire JVM. Okay, and people understand this. If you know, we have an example of Google that we have one server at California and one server at Nashville and one server at New York. So people, these are different JVMs. That doesn't mean that you have single instance across JVMs. No, you have one instance here, you have one instance here, definitely you have one instance here. Okay, so in a distributed environment, whenever there is a JVM separation, so even if in a single machine, if you have two JVMs, then this class will exist two times in each JVM. So this is JVM specific. So that's what is very important to understand. Singleton pattern gives you or guarantees you an object creation for a JVM. Okay, so only one object exists for a JVM. If you have a distributed environment, you will have instance at every point. Okay. I already did a learning. I already sent you the code. I do not have notes now. Okay, as of now, I don't have notes first. I'm just in the process of creating it. I sent you interceptor code, interceptor notes, but other things I'm just creating. Okay, I will send it across whenever it's there. Okay, so this is the use of singleton pattern. So let's go back and see how we can actually implement it. So first thing you should understand is how you can restrict access to a class. So whenever we have class, we can restrict the access to an instance creation by making its constructor private. Okay, so if we make the constructor private, nobody can create the instance of this class. And who can create it? Tell me. If the constructor of the class is private, who can create the instance? I need the answer from you. Okay, I got one answer correct. Yes, absolutely. Yes, you're right. So the same class only can access that constructor. Only that same class will be able to create that instance. So this is how singleton, the mechanism of singleton is handled by this logic, that only that class will create an instance of it, and he takes care of responsibility that no other instance will be created. And how he takes care about that? So let's see this singleton class. So this is a very simple design. You have a private constructor. Okay, a private constructor means nobody else can actually call new singleton class. Okay, now somebody should call it. Who is that somebody? We need that somebody. Somebody is same method, and we generally have either get instance method or new instance method. Okay, so we don't use new instance because there is a method in Java called new instance in reflection. So we will not use new instance. So generally we use get instance method. Okay, so again, one more important thing is this particular method should be static. Okay, because nobody else can create an instance. So if the method is not static, then nobody else will be able to call that get instance method in the first place. Only static methods can be accessed by class name, right? So because of this reason, we should have that method static. This method should return this particular class instance. Okay, that's the reason we created this. Okay, and one more important thing is we should mark it here is see this. We have a static instance of this class. Okay, we created a static instance of this class, actually nullified it. Once we created it's null, and we create it whenever get instance is called, and we are checking whether single class is null or not. If it is null, then only we are creating it. Now think about the scenario when first time user calls this particular method. Okay, first time when user calls this particular method, then get instance will see that single class is null. Okay, it comes here, it will create an instance of single class and it will return the instance. Okay, now second times when another class asks for get instance, now here it says that singleton class instance exists because you created an instance. Okay, and it will not go in this particular if block and it will return existing instance of singleton class. Okay, so this is how we will maintain this singleton class instance for entire JVM. Okay, what is the use of singleton class? That's what I explained. So will this work fine even in multi-threaded environment? No. The answer of this question is no. So it will not work in the multi-threaded environment because there is a possibility that two threads actually entered this particular block at the same time, and singleton class equal to no singleton class, and that will end up in creating two different instances. Okay, so think about this. If that is happening, if that is actually happening, okay, then what is the solution for that? Solution is absolutely, you know the solution. Solution is synchronized. So yes, have that synchronized. Okay, you definitely can do that. But now what will happen? Synchronize not only do first time initialization, but it will always restrict multiple threads. So if you are working in a web environment, okay, if you are working in a web environment, think about it. Whenever you need an instance of this class, whenever I need a product list, okay, I'll go back to that example. Whenever I need a list of product which is stored at here, and this is product list, and these are my stores. Now these three stores are actually asking for new product list. Now because it is synchronized, this will get first, this will wait, okay, this will get it second, this will get it third, this will get it. By the time it will reach a session times out, okay, something happens, he will say that network link is down or something. So this is not good, and we are talking about 5 stores. Okay, Best Buy has 2,340 stores in the entire United States. What are you gonna do about that? Okay, so think about it. So if we have such numbers and if we are accessing this method with that, making it synchronized, there is a risk. I know there is a risk of accessing that particular thing by two different threads at the same time, but the probability of happening that is very low, but probability of this use case is very high. Okay, so people, you always will end up in a solution where both the solutions are wrong solutions, but you have to choose least wrong solution. Okay, the least wrong solution is to not make this thing synchronized. Okay, and best way, absolutely right. I really appreciate this. I really like the answer just now I received from a student, and I'm very happy that you think in this way. You always do this thing in servlet init block. Okay, whenever you have a initialization, servlet initialization, make sure that you create an instance of it, and rest of the world will view peacefully. Okay, I really like that one of the students actually answered this. It's awesome. It's really nice feeling, you know. Okay, so yes, absolutely, you do that in init block, in servlet initialization block, in a filter, so that you can do that only one time. And you know that if you create it once, that's it. It will not create any time. Okay, after that. So that's how you can solve that solution. You have two solutions. The first thing is having synchronized, and second thing is can it be in a init block, and final thing is keep it as a risk. There is no problem in that. Okay, excellent question and very nice answers by students. Okay, so here you go. So what we're gonna do is we have only two instances of this class, singleton class 1, singleton class 2. We are calling these two, and we will debug it so that we will understand how the flow really works. I know it's not hard for you guys, but let's see it one by one, step by step, and understand it how it really works. So I just put a breakpoint here, and let's start working on it. And put a breakpoint here as well. Okay, and now go inside. Now first time we are coming here, definitely have this class null. So we created an instance, we returned it. Okay, we returned it. Now the second step, we again gonna go inside and see what happens. So now when it comes, it actually finds an instance, and it will not create a second instance, and it will return the existing instance of it. Okay, and this is gonna happen for entire life of that particular JVM. Okay, so this is the singleton pattern. The simplest one and most basic one and very useful, most asked interview question. Most asked. What is singleton pattern? What is factory pattern? Those two questions are always asked. Okay. And if the interview is going really fine, if you are answering really good, then definitely the third question will be, can you explain command pattern or can you explain observer pattern? Always. These four you should mug it up. Okay. Okay. So second thing is we should understand is factory pattern. So what is a factory? The factory is which generates objects. So we are actually creating a factory of objects. Okay. So let's go back to our screen. Now what we have is, let's say, let's take a practical example, not like so in TFT app you created you know what is TFT app now, you created that application. Now I have two things here. First thing is I have a file input, okay, which you created. Okay, I'm actually giving you a real-time example. Okay, where a store sends file to your TFT app, and this app you created, right? Okay, and this is file. Now we also need to read from a JMS queue. Okay, and there is another way when store, okay, so now store is not sending to file. Some of the stores put it in a queue and this app reads from the queue. Okay, and third way is this store actually sends an XML file. Okay, so this was a CSV file, comma separated values. What is CSV? Comma separated value. What is XML? You know that already. So few stores sends XML, few stores sends into queue, and few stores sends TFT app. Okay, so TFT app as a CSV file. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So there are three ways to get a same information, exact same information. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, we should have a factory of reader. Okay, you should read a file anyway. So either it will be XML file, or it will be a CSV file, or it will be a message from a queue. Okay, so we have three routes: 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now I will have three different readers. One is file reader, or I will name it as CSV reader. Okay, CSV reader. One is as JMS reader, and finally we have XML reader. Okay, and now this app has to choose which particular reader has to be called for this flow. So when the flow is 1, then CSV reader. When the flow is 2, then XML reader. When the flow is 3, when the flow is 2, then JMS, and 3 is XML. So what actually we do, and we create a factory, and that factory is called as reader factory. Okay, and reader factory will have a method called as get reader. Okay, and we create an interface reader, and we implement it by these classes. Okay, so what we have is reader factory, and reader factory will have a method called get reader. Okay, and this particular get reader takes this as a parameter. So 1, if get reader gets 1, then it will return CSV. If get reader gets 2, it will return JMS reader. And if get reader gets 3, it will return XML reader. Okay, so this is how this factory pattern works. So factory pattern is nothing but creating a factory and returning an object depending on what exact selection criteria of that object is. Okay, so factory pattern is for that. So what is the benefit of it? What is the main feature of this? Consider this app, and you have a new feature coming in. So new feature is added, and which is HTTP. You are sending a file over HTTP. So now I will have a fourth reader called HTTP. Okay, I will create a code. I will have that method in there for HTTP reader. Okay, and what is the new change here? Nothing, because this guy will be sending that I am number 4. Okay, this guy will pass number 4 to get reader, and I created HTTP reader already, so it will give a reader instance to app and it will execute. So for app there is no change, no code change. Okay, this is achieved because of reader factory. So let's see a similar example. We have it in a code. We have the same example here. Right. Okay, so what we created first is the interface called reader. Okay, and reader has a method read file. Okay, and we created 2 different sets for it. XML file reader, okay, which reads the file from XML, and argument file reader, which takes the arguments. Okay, these are 2 things, 2 readers we have. Okay, and now we will have a reader factory. Now if argument length is equal to 1, there is some criteria. It will return XML file reader. If argument length is equal to 15, then it will return argument reader. So there should be some criteria to select which object you need. And see here, it returns a reader instance. It can be XML file reader, it can be argument file reader, it doesn't matter. Okay, and now if you see a tester class, okay, for him basically the reader is nothing. The reader factory equals to reader factory, and it will say factory.getReader. Okay, and it will read the file. Okay, as simple as that. So this guy, the app, doesn't know which reader at the runtime getting instantiated or initialized. Okay, so even if you have 3 more readers, you do not have to change this code. Everything is exactly the same, because your factory is getting chosen on the basis of input. Okay, so that's the benefit of factory. Okay, so do you know how to pass arguments? If we have Eclipse code, do you know how to pass arguments here? I will show you. Absolutely, if you know it, very good. If you don't know it, look at this. Go to debug configuration. Okay, go to singleton test. You have to change the class. We need factory test. Okay, go to arguments and add arguments. So I will add 1 argument. Okay, this is argument, and apply it. And as of now, I will close it because I don't have any debug points there. I'll go here and go to debug, go back to tester, and start this debugging this code. Okay, now I'll see I got one argument. Okay, so which instance should we return? XML file reader. So this is what's going to happen. It will return XML file reader, return that, and read the file will print that which particular file reader is executed. So this is the use of factory pattern. Okay, awesome. Questions here?
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2Kinfosys.com. On our website H2Kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770 777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.